Hello fellow crafters, I am Mua, and today on this episode of Cardboard Craft, we're going to be making Thor's Stormbreaker from the new Avengers Infinity War movie. If you wish to make this project yourself, templates for everything you need will be down in the description below. I started out by cutting out a 4x4 inch square of cardboard. Then I added sides that were 1.5 inches wide going this way, then glued them on and added the free-handed triangles in between. Then I added a circle of 5mm craft foam using a duct tape roll as a template. Next, I added the 4 main side pieces, and I also added some cardboard supports on the inside so that they would stay at the right angle. Then I added a top piece by cutting out a square of cardboard that was 3.5 by 3.5 inches wide and long, and then gluing it on, and I marked, as you can see here, I marked a certain amount, I think it was 3/4 of an inch from each end, to know exactly where I should glue it so that it would turn out perfectly square in the end. And then I custom cut these spaces in between each of the 4 side panels. Then I masking taped over all the edges to sort of just clean it up a little bit for when I paint it. Then I cut the grooves in just 2 of the sides, which will eventually be the right and left side as opposed to the top and bottom. And I did cut a little bit extra here, so I just patched it up with some masking tape, and it'll look just fine once I spray paint the entire thing. So next I cut out 2 of the axe pieces, and I didn't have a big enough piece of cardboard to fit the whole thing, so as you can see I just glued it together at the seam here. Then I marked on both sides where it sort of starts to angle in to become sharp. Then I cut a groove from the end of where it starts to like go in to the end, and the end here is 1/4 of an inch wide and just angles down, and I cut that out. And on the back side of what will be the back, I scored along where it does start to angle in, and then I'll glue it together right there. And so then I did just that, and what I also did was I used my thumb sort of just to dome it out a little bit more to give it a nice curved look, and also to flatten out the edge so that when I glued it together, it would be easier. So obviously then I glued the edge together, and then I glued it to the hammer part. And then I glued the leading edge together with a bit of hot glue to make it look sharper, and it'll be cleaner once we spray paint it. Then I cut 2 of those pentagon shapes that go on the sides here out of some really thick cardboard. If you don't have thick cardboard, you can just glue several layers together. Then I added some triangles out of regular size or regular thickness cardboard to finish out this diamond shape here. And it just slants down, as you can see there. Then I glued some cardstock to the top of all of it to just clean it up a bit. So the next thing I did was I covered those areas there in masking tape just to clean up the edges a little bit, as well as I added a cardboard support on the inside so that I could glue in the handle later. Then I added some more cardstock to the tops just to cover it up, and just the top, not the bottom, because we need to know which side is the bottom so we can put the handle in later. Then to finish off the axe head for the time being, I added some details using, as you can see, I used cereal box cardboard here, and for the detail lines, I just traced in with a box knife, and then I ran through it with a pencil just to widen them up and make them look nice and spicy. Then I cut out a piece of PVC pipe that was 36 inches long, and then I used a heat gun to curve it to the shape of the handle. To get the shape of the bottom of the handle, where it sort of flares out, what I did was I layered cardboard up 1 layer at a time. So here's the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and 4th layer, just to give it that flared out look. I then duct taped over it, and I also added a circle of foam to the bottom and hot glued around it just to sort of fill it in there. Then I took some burlap string and just wrapped it around the handle at the bottom and at the top. Then as you can see, I spray painted the handle brown and the axe head a hammered metal silver. Not actual silver, hammered metal. Then I added a piece of cardboard with a hole that would fit the handle right in there. Right about now, I'm realizing that I forgot to add a few things to the axe head itself, so that's what I'm going to do now. I also realized that I forgot to add the ropes to the handle, which I should have done earlier, which are going to eventually wrap around the axe head. So that's what I'm just going to do real quick, and then I'll show you what happens with that. So as you can see here, some of the things that I did to make the axe head how it was supposed to be. So I added this little pyramid tower thingy on the top, as well as this thingy on the bottom, and I left this hole here because I figured I could just cover it up with the vines later. Then, as you can see, I added a few silver paint details to the entire thing. So that goes here, and on the silver lines that go across there. And then I filled in where I had painted earlier. So I didn't mask off the center section, so I just painted it gray. For the vines, I twisted up some rope and then added some duct tape. Then I secured it to the main handle using some tape, and I also used some more, whatever this stuff is called, I forget what it's called, to decorate it a little bit more. Then I spray painted it all brown. And then, even though you probably can't tell, I did a little bit of tan dry brushing just to give it a little bit more of a woody look. Then I glued on the handle and wrapped the vines around, and this is the final product. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Cardboard Crafts. If you have any questions about what I made today, you can leave those questions down in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe! So overall, I am pretty happy with how this whole thing turned out. I may redo the handles sometime, because I really liked how Odin did it on Odin Makes, so that's what I might do sometime to complete this project a little bit, even though it is pretty much completed. But I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.